Hey everybody, this is My Minecraft No Life with another video, and this is how I made my King Kong Skull Island map in World Painter. Now this has been requested by a couple of you in the comments of my King Kong build series videos, so I just thought I would make a video showing you guys what I did. Now I'm sure there's 1,000 videos out there on YouTube about how to do this. I actually learned how to do it from a couple. I'll put them in the description. And this is just going to be what I did. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So what you're going to need to do is download the program for your computer desktop called World Painter, which I've left a link for in the description below. There's a video tutorial that I used on how to do this, and yeah, you should figure it out. Like, it's pretty straightforward if you are into installing programs and stuff, but yeah. So on my desktop here, you can see 4 things. You'll see the program itself, and then 3 different versions of the Minecraft map of Skull Island that I actually did. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take you through the program, like once you open it, what you're going to see, and how you're going to essentially like import images and do the train and stuff like that. And then I'm going to show you the 3 different versions of different saves along the way, so you can see like what I was talking about in this part implied into what I was actually doing along the in the building process. So yeah, so what you're gonna do is open World Painter. Alright everybody, so this is what it's gonna look like when you open up the World Painter for the first time. So what you're gonna want to do is actually go into New World here, and you're going to click on New World because it'll bring up certain options of dimensions and names that you actually want to have at this point in time. When you go with the default world that opens, you won't be able to do this stuff. So you want to do this, just name it anything. I'm going to name it Test Map. And here is your map format. So you're going to want to do 1.15 or later if you want to play with all the current blocks and everything, but you can do whatever you want here. This is actually how I converted the King Kong map into every version from 1.12 to 1.16. So dimensions are very important. Now I'm going to put an image on screen. This has to do with map size. So if you actually want your map that you're creating right now to fill an entire map in Minecraft when you open it, so it'll actually look neat, like in my video, how the entire island fits on one map, you want to follow this guide off to the left here. So you're going to put whatever dimensions that are on the map guide here that you want to use. So I like to use a level 3 map just because I feel like a level 4 is kind of too blown out. And you can see that a level 3 map is 1024 blocks by 1024 blocks. So set this to that. Bam. Done. Circular world, don't worry about. Height, it's grayed out. Go with hilly or flat. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be doing world edit anyway. So you're going to make hills and make it flat where you want. So I wouldn't really concern yourself with that. Water level, keep it at default unless you're making like an ocean world like Rapture from Bioshock, where you need a lot of ocean, you know what I mean? And you want to do surface material as grass. You can do it as whatever you want. You can do it like literally whatever you want. It'll come up here, but keep it grass. And the ocean and land seed does not matter at this point because you can actually make it so water or a void surrounds this map like infinitely when you're exporting it. So don't worry about that at that stage. So just create. So let me see what you're gonna have to do. I like to just zoom out a bit. So this is your map. And this is a level 3 map in Minecraft completely. So the first thing I like to do is open the grid. Bam. And you can see 0, 0 here. So on that point, that's going to be the bottom corner of one of your maps. So it's very important that you get the corner of this area that you're going to be editing, or any corner of this area, to line up with that. So I'll show you how to do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up into this thing right here. It looks like a plus sign with arrows on the end of every point. So it looks like a directional pad for lack of my better describing. And you're going to go, here it says x-axis and z-axis. So what you're going to do, see here how it says 512? And you want to move that over. Either way, minus or plus, it doesn't matter. So if you want that to go over, then you're going to go offset of 512. And then you're going to go offset of 512. Because same here. So you're going to go shift and bam. Now you can see that the corner is on 0, 0, which is what you want. Now you are essentially good to go. You can start creating this map as soon as I zoom out a bit. So now your entire map will show up on a Minecraft world because that's a level 3 map. The other level 3 map would be here. The other level 3 would be here, etc., etc. So the next thing to do is actually put your image in of what you want. So I've actually got an image here from Google, and you come up to this frame here. I'm going to hit that. And desktop. Thought this would be cool to do. It's Peter Pan's Neverland. So as you can see, you want it on this, but it's kind of out of the way and quite large. So what you're going to do is go here. You can see image overlay. If I turn that off, it'll turn off. Turn it on. Don't touch this. This adjusts the grid size, which you don't want to do. It'll screw up your maps and everything. So what you can do is just bring it down in scale. It'll adjust in real time behind you as you do this. So you can just kind of make this smaller, perhaps. Yes. And just keep bringing it down until it fits into there. Now this is kind of a weird shaped map, but yeah, you can do you here and make it look about right. There we go. That's cool. So now you can see it's about in the middle. You can yeah, you can just close it out of this. There's no save or anything. Then you can zoom in, and we have really cool looking map outline template of Peter Pan's Neverland. So now you just want to basically go around this with the tools and create this island with all the rivers and stuff like that. So I'm going to walk you through the tools I use. I'm just going to turn this off for the time being. You can turn it off here, toggle. So if you look up here in the top left corner, you can see this, and this is hills. Raise a mountain. This this arrow pointing up, it's raise a mountain. So you can click here, and if you right click on your mouse, it'll take it up. Left click, it will take it down. So right click, and the bigger you want to go, you just pull back on your wheel, and it'll go bigger. You want it to go in, you'll push forward on your wheel. It'll go in. It'll be smaller. So you can see how it's making these weird circle shapes that don't really look natural. That's because I'm on the circular brush up in the top right corner here. If you want better brushes, skip all of these completely and go to custom brushes. Click the one in the top right, and that will give you some really good mountains, and this is what I used for Skull Island. Now you can just see how much better this is looking already. Even though it's smaller, you can just tell it looks more like natural. See it coming up there? So bam. So see how there's all this clay colored stuff coming up at the top? That's just a default of the map. You can change textures and what blocks are where later, so don't worry about it. Just get the general shape of the island you want. So what you're gonna do is basically use this to shape your island. You can use it to raise or lower stuff. Possibly go back to these circular brushes to get bigger areas, because it'll work pretty good for flattening out things. But you could also use the flattening tool right here at the top, and that will do the exact same thing. But I wouldn't use the harsh circle there. I would do something like this so it's kind of even. See how there's all those lines? Those are just a pain in the ass. So I like to stick with these brushes. They just seem to be better. They give natural shapes. Even if it's not completely level, it will still look better than... But anyway, you can keep doing that. It's completely smooth now. You can see that. And if you look in the bottom, I believe it's the bottom right corner? Oh no, bottom left corner, sorry. You can see your location on the map in coordinates-wise, and height of the block you are on, plus the slope. I don't really think slope is really relevant, but height is important because you have to note that the water is naturally forming at 62, and we're at 86 currently. And location doesn't really matter at this point either. You know the top of them, 0, 0's here, so you're good. So I would put this back on, and you can actually just start going through it and lowering all of the area around it that's going to be water. So I'll start doing that now. Oh, sorry, I'm still on flat surface. You want to go on raise or lower. So see how chasms are forming. And you know what? We're actually quite far away from the island right now. I'm actually going to, whoops. I'm going to use one of the flatter brushes. I'm going to use this. And it's going to go in a weird shape, but you're not really going to see this anyway when you're on the island. So you want to just go around and see how water's forming. Water be forming. And you just keep doing this until the entire outside of the map is full. And the island around here is, it's kind of like shaped, generally. You don't want it to be too close to that line, but you want it to be decently close, you know what I mean? So that's what I did. And you can also use all these different shapes. This lowers and raises the terrain, not raises a mountain. So it'll kind of level it out. See what I'm doing here? It's leveling it out. It's not making it so harsh of a slope. And all of this stuff is just used to, you can switch up here to, where is it? I think it's this. Possibly. And you can just go to terrain if you want to do different terrain blocks, and you can paint them over top. So for example, if I want to do, this will look pretty weird, but let's do end stone, there you go. It goes up. My computer's just being kind of laggy right now because I'm running a bunch of stuff, but yeah, end stone, that's all end stone. You can do it for whatever you want. So let's do this. I don't even know what I clicked on. I think it's like stone or something, but yeah, you get the idea. So on different areas of the map, you want to, like, for example, if you look here, I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so Skull Rock, you're going to want to have, like, a little, you might not even want to put something there. Maybe just put a little island of stone there so you can build the Skull Mountain off of it. Mermaid Lagoon, from the movie, I remember it was pretty rocky, so you might want to put, like, rocks around here with a bunch of green grass around the edges here. You know what I mean? So it kind of, like, goes back into the jungle, and maybe make the rocks out of sandstone or something. If I remember correctly, I don't think they were like gray rocks. I could be completely wrong. It's been a while. But yeah, mountains here, you want to make bigger mountains, right? You can just look off of all these areas, right? If I remember correctly, the Indian camp, it was fairly dense forest all the way leading up to it. And right around here, yeah, you can use your best judgment, and then around the edges of the map, you're going to want to do a beach, pretty much. Sometimes on islands you don't want a beach there, but I'll show you what you do for a beach quickly, for the edge of a map. So I'm just going to zoom out, I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to just go down. I'm going to make a bigger area here. So okay, so right there, you can just see this area, it's all water. And it's kind of looking very choppy. So what I did is just go into flatten, and you can kind of buff it out a bit. Kind of just be sure it doesn't remove too much of the water you want to keep. But yeah, you can bring it back a bit. Maybe even use this tool right here, which is raise and lower terrain. So you can go lower. And then you can go raise. This works very well around the finer details. Like, see how it's gently stretching it out? It's really nice for that. This is what I use for rivers and everything. So then if you want to have sand around it, for example, if I hit sand here, see how it's, oh, sorry, I have to go on the brush. If I go there, big spot of sand. You don't want that. So what you're going to do is make a very small brush, and if you go around the edges, see how that doesn't work. It's just going to look weird on the actual Minecraft map. So what you can do is come over here to the right, and there's all your brush settings. So intensity, you can lower it so it's not as intense. You could also, but you're going to have to take it down quite a bit for it to make any real impact. Like I'm talking like 2 or 1%. But you can go at or above or at or below. So you could go at or below, and then come over here, look at the coordinate you're on. I'm just going to zoom in a bit more and go up. And you can see right there is 63, 65, 66. Okay, let's go 66. So at or below 66. So you want to change this number to 66. And it will only paint crap that's under that line. I'm pretty sure I could have typed this in to save some time, but we're scrolling. At or below 6. Okay, so you come here and see how it's just, you can literally, I'm going over here, I'm holding it down, but it's only going around the edges. So that's what you want. Bam. See how it's a nice smooth line as compared to that harsh line and stuff like that? That's how you do that. But one more thing before we move on to the saves along the way. We have just a 2D map. You can't really tell anything what you're doing. So just scroll out here. And while making this, you're not going to know the height of things. You're going to be like, oh crap. You don't want to keep looking down the bottom left to see, oh, I'm not at like 200 yet. I'm at like 116 there. So just go up into View, 3D View, and it will come up with this. So you'll see all of your stuff. So what I like to do, once I have the basic shape done, I like to come into the 3D view and do this. So you can see all of that come up on the right. So if you want to raise a mountain, you can see if I go into these brushes and that brush, you can go up. It'll be a lot more convincing of a mountain, and it'll appear real time beside you. So that's how I did the King Kong map. So we're going to move on to the saves now, because I feel like you guys have a pretty good general understanding of this. So let's move on. So what you see here is the 3 saves that I talked about. We have Skull Island version 1, version 2, and version 3. So let's open up version 1. And these are, like I said, just different saves that I made along the way. Sometimes it'll ask you to update. I'm just not going to update now because I'm in the middle of a video and it's taken longer than I wanted to. So we're just going to go next. If you want to skip the update and just open it, you can just hit next and then just hit no, I'll do it later. And then finish. It'll open. Okay, so here you can see, let me zoom out. You can see here what I've done. So at this stage in the game, this was, let me see, let's just kind of study what I've done. So I haven't even opened these in a while. So, okay, so what I've done is I put the image overlay. I haven't done the adjusting for the map size yet. So see how this is right in the middle? So this wouldn't actually fill an entire Minecraft map. Oh wait, sorry, I'm looking the complete wrong way. It totally would. So see how 0 is there and 0 is here? It would fit perfectly on a map right here. So I've started to do, I've done the entire island outline. It's just all grass and all basic. So you can see how there's no stone or dense jungle or whatever. It's just the basic area. So let's just go into 3D view and just look what we've done. Yeah, so you can see here how you guys know the map, so it's not anything. This is so old. Whoa. This is cool to see after so long. Oh crap, what did I do? I zoomed out so far, it doesn't even... Oh, there we go. Okay. So, one thing I want to see is the actual village. And yeah, I haven't even done the village yet. The village is not here. So, you can see what I've done. This right here is exporting. So exporting is how you get the ocean around the edge here. See how it's just infinite ocean? So I'll just show you how you do that. You go File, Export. Goddamn. Export as new Minecraft map. Sorry, my computer fan just kicked in. And here you can see what certain important things you need to do. So underground material, if you want to mine and stuff, this is default, I'm pretty sure, stone mix, so that'll be all your stones, all your ores, everything. Keep that like that. But you can change it to just 1, right? You can change it to just like, just granite, for example, but I like to keep it at stone mix. So you have border, no border, void, water, or lava. If you want to do an island, hit water. That'll mean around it is all water. But that's not enough. What you want to do, see how it says this, border size, fixed, 256, in multiples of 128, you want to hit this as pretty much big as you want because it won't be infinite water around it. So I haven't done this at this stage in the game, so you want to just raise this like, I don't know, that's probably fine. So, and that will make sure water surrounds this for a while. So you won't like be on the edge of the island coast and look over and see like chunks of Minecraft world. It just looks ugly. So this is also a time to see your, whoops. This is also a time to see your Minecraft seed. This will be available later. You guys all know that, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Don't change that. I don't think that will affect anything, but just don't. It's fine. Leave everything like I have here. I don't like to really touch any of these settings. Mode, you might want to do this here if you want to do it in creative or survival. You can switch it later, but I think it might affect achievements. So if you want to do the survival, do survival right off the start. World type, large biomes, default, doesn't really matter. I wouldn't do super flat, do large biomes or default. Don't really think it matters. And this was what we selected at the start. So 1.15, peaceful, difficulties can be changed on survival and you can still get achievements, so it doesn't matter. Export, that'll take it in, but I'm not going to do this because I've already done it, like you know. So let's go into the second one. No save. So version 2. So what do we have here? Okay, so it looks like the rocks and the lake is in. See all these patches? That's all jungle. So how I did that, this is actually good because I'm actually seeing stuff I missed talking about earlier. So you can actually go here and see all these, right here it says terrain, but biomes. If you want dense jungle like I have, I used a magic wand for some of it, for some of the more delicate areas. But you can find jungle here, and then make sure you're on brush and put it down, and jungle will go down. A huge, thick jungle of anything you want. So you can do desert, taiga, mega taiga, which is also known as the redwood forest, or ocean, even sand, whatever you want. But I'm not going to do that just because it'll screw up this entire map. So as you can see here, we have pretty much the whole thing done. There's little areas around here that are kind of iffy. I think the water level is kind of high actually, or sorry, kind of low. But what we have here is, oh, this is good. I have the spawn spot set, which you can see right here, this little red X or cross plus sign, and it's right in the native village. And how you do that is you just come up here to the top left where it says tools, and there's this little pinpoint thing, spawn, change the spawn point. You click that, put it down wherever you want. If you want to spawn in the middle of the jungle, do that, bam bam bam, you can put it, but I have it there. So you can see all the mountains are in. Let's go to the 3D view. 3D view is looking pretty good. The mountains there, look how good that's looking. Oh, damn. Alright. So let's go to version 3 and see what we got there. So, yeah, nothing's really in there. The village is not in yet and all that stuff, no. But version 3, and this is the final one that I went off of, I'm pretty sure. So what do we get? Yeah, we have yeah, this is the final one that I did, guys. Okay, so here you can see everything the way it is in the video that you've seen and the remake of the video you've seen. I think this is just lag here because I actually went over here while I was making the map. So see these X's? It means you can't do any world edit on there because they're man-made objects. So, or I think I have it set up that way, actually, because I imported this from a different version that I already played, which is possible, and I'll show you how to do it in a second. But if you zoom in here, you can see everything is the way it is, and the native village is actually imported. All of these red dots are basically just, I'm pretty sure they're just trees, bases of trees and stuff, because there's nothing else red out there. So here you can see how I used the magic wand around for sand, and I was starting to shape everything, and the village is imported. Now, and the spawn point is right where you guys spawn. When you downloaded this world and played, all the chasms are here. So if you look, I'll just do an overview. Here you come across the wall, sorry, the ship's about here. Wall goes into the ocean like that. Come up here from the entry point, around there, and up through here, underneath, come up the wall like this, come through, and over here, through all this stuff, and yeah, there's a chasm, water, and yeah. So, let's go to 3D view, 3D, and everything's in there, and it looks really good. Now, a couple of the coastlines are kind of choppy, but it wasn't something I wanted to like lose sleep over. It looks brilliant. So, this is what I got, and a lot of it was later fixed with the magic wand and the forge mod. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. But yeah, that's essentially what I did. And final thing is the making sure it doesn't go over human-made objects. When you want to import this from another Minecraft world, say you already have a Minecraft world that you want to put in here. So you've been working on this world with your friends, and you're like, oh, maybe we could put like huge mountains in. You can totally do that. You can go up to File, and you can go, let me see, Import New World from Minecraft Map. When you click on that, it'll bring up this, level.dat, go here, and you go and find your Minecraft folder and open the map you want to do. And right here, see, do not mark any chunks as read-only. Mark chunks containing man-made blocks above ground, read-only. So that will cancel out any mines and underground things you've done and make them editable with World Painter, sorry. Right here it says all man-made blocks, essentially, so that'll be above ground and underground. So if I had anything underground, which I don't, at this point I didn't, I would click that. But since I only had above ground ones, I just hit mark chunks containing man-made blocks above ground read only. So that means they have X's over them and they can't be screwed around with, which is good. Because if I start raising a mountain right here, it'll just cancel out. It'll just raise in a square box around this, which is awesome. There's no like risk of you losing all your creations, and it's good. So yeah, that has been this video, guys, and I hope you liked it, because this has been long awaited. A couple people have been waiting a while for this, and I'm sorry, guys. It just everything's been happening. Final graduation thing at university, trying to find job. It's been kind of weird during COVID, but this is up, and I hope you enjoyed. So until next time, keep building, guys.